Hey, joining us now, one of our favorite guys. Future Hall of Famer, I'll say it. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. Two-time Super Bowl winner. A couple of the greatest games in NFL history. He was responsible for those and many other great moments in football. He is Eli Manning. Eli, great to talk to you again. How's everything?
Everything's great, Mike. Thanks for having me on.
And it's great to talk to you. And you know what? I had a flashback this morning. My primary rule of wardrobe is I wear what's ever the closest and the cleanest. So when it was time for our morning show today, I grabbed this West Virginia quarter zip that just happened to be laying on a chair. And I remembered December 28, 2000. I remembered watching the Music City Bowl at my sister's house. We were visiting for the holidays. And the game was over. 49-16, blowout. Don Nehlen's last game, legendary head coach at West Virginia. And then in comes this kid named Eli Manning, whose older brother plays in the NFL. And you put the fear of God into some folks in West Virginia because back came the Rebels that day.
That was a long time ago. 25 years. And, it was, ended up being an awesome opportunity for me. I'd gotten to play just a little bit that year, kind of my redshirt freshman year. So to get into that bowl game, nothing to lose, to go down, score 3 touchdowns, and, really kind of set me up to take over that starting role the next year, give some confidence in my teammates that I could go out there and score points and do things. So it kind of helped me get through that off season and go in. Just knowing that I could go and compete in college football and make the right decisions to make some plays. So that was a cold game. I remember that was sitting on the sideline for 3 quarters. I was definitely a little cold. So hopefully that prepared me to come up to New York as well.
How much notice did you have that day, if you even remember, that you were going to go in? Like, at what point was it like, hey, Eli, grab your helmet, let's go?
Yeah, I think once we got down by 33 points, I think kind of knew there was a chance, that I might be getting in the game. So, the game plan, the strategy or the game plan wasn't for me to go in. Romero Miller was the starter. We just defense couldn't stop many people that day. So we just got rolling and had the opportunity to go in and knew we were going to throw it a bunch. We weren't going to run it. We had to score quickly. So just try to have some fun and throw some touchdowns.
Well, it ended up being a great day. 3 touchdown passes. And again, from 49-16 to 49-38. And I just remember thinking that clock can't hit triple zeros quickly enough. I thought of you again, too, this weekend. Because when I saw the image of your former teammate, Geno Smith, giving the double-barreled middle fingers to the Seahawks crowd, I still I laugh every time.
I told him that. Yeah, we worked on that in the meeting room a lot. That was something we just all did. We worked on the strategy, getting it just perfect. So I'm glad that he took some of that training and some of those things we talked about in the meeting rooms, that he's taken that with him and continued to use it.
Did you get in any trouble at all the night that you did that live on ESPN2?
Well, it was a little bit. There's a little bit of a loophole that I learned. I was told, hey, go apologize right after. We kind of took a TV break. Go apologize and say. But the fact that I was doing it in context, I wasn't giving the double bird. I was imitating an Eagles fan giving the double bird. So I wasn't saying it. I was just showing what was being done to me. So it's kind of in context. There's a little loophole right there. So I didn't get in too much trouble.
Well, good. I need to keep that in mind. That can come in handy, especially because I have a partner in Chris Sims who he gives it as a greeting. Like, somebody asked me if Geno Smith was serious about it. It's like, I really can't tell because I deal with a guy who's flashing them all the time as hello, how are you, whatever. It's just a way of communicating. I mentioned at the top that you'll eventually make it to the Hall of Fame, and I know you will. It is just a matter of time, and it's politics, and it's weird, but it'll happen. Now, with all the time you spend on air with Peyton and all the time you spent with him over the years, you're going to have eternity in the Hall of Fame together. Do you want your bust to be next to his, or do you want it to be as far away from his as possible?
I have not thought about that. I mean, I like usually, not in bus talk, but like in general, if we're taking a picture, I like standing next to Peyton because standing next to him makes me look better looking. if you know what I mean. So I wouldn't mind being next to him because I think that'll just make me look better.
Oh, that's good. All right. Once upon a time, and it wasn't 25 years ago, it was just 21 years ago, you were a rookie quarterback with the New York Giants, now a former Mississippi quarterback in Jaxson Dart, first-round pick with the Giants. Give me one do and one don't for Jaxson Dart in his first year in the NFL.
Well, I think, it's a great opportunity for him to sit obviously and watch Russell Wilson and just how he prepares, how he goes through training camp, how he comes prepared every day for practice, but also as you get into the season of just, hey, how the game plan's changing. What days do you, get your workouts in? When do you get massage? When do you, go on a date with the family? When do you, just get all your preparation and work done, but also see how the media, handles and treats the starting quarterback in New York, whether, hey, after a great win, after a tough loss, and just kind of sit, watch, learn, take that in. And so you can have a game plan when that opportunity comes and just know what's coming, how to deal with it, how to collect yourself, have poise during those moments, because the New York media, they come at you hard when things are going bad. It's easy to start pointing fingers, and then all of a sudden you get friction in the locker room. You got to have those bold shoulders to take the blame when things go bad, and then dish out the credit when things are going good. And so I think it's that opportunity. Russell's done a great job with that his whole career, and I think an opportunity for Jaxson to watch, to learn, and just get a great game plan as he eventually takes over that role.
When you were a rookie, you came in after 9 regular season games. When did you know that you were ready to play in a game that counts in the NFL?
I don't know if you ever know you're ready until you've played a few games. And so I think, as a rookie quarterback, I think it was good that I played that year. I'm glad I didn't play week 1. I probably was not ready. It was great for me to watch Kurt Warner and, just the questions he asked the offensive coordinator in the preparation that week, his input on the game plan. Those things are important to be honest with your coach about what plays you like. Sometimes as a young quarterback, if the coach really likes a play, yet you don't like it, you don't understand it, you haven't got enough reps, you'll say, yeah, I love this play, even though you really don't, because you don't want to upset your offensive coordinator's feelings where, hey, that's not the way to do it. You got to be honest. You got to say, hey, coach, I'm not feeling this play yet. Let's rep it a few more times before we put it in the game plan. Hey, here are my favorite plays. These are the plays I've run the most in training camp. These are the plays that are similar to what I ran in college. So I just have a great feel, have a great understanding. I'll be able to find completions. So I think that's the most important thing is to learn those things. So, and I think playing that rookie year, just helped me that second year, that off season, things I needed to work on, plays I needed to get more familiar with, watch more film on, practice in the off season, throwing certain routes. So I was prepared for that second season.
How long did it take you to get comfortable pushing back or collaborating? Because football is very top down, almost like the military chain of command. You do what you're told and you go forward. When did you become fully comfortable in saying to an offensive coordinator or a head coach, you know what, I don't think we should do this, we should do that instead?
Probably honestly, some way kind of halfway between my second year, where I got really confident. I do remember my rookie year, we did play in Baltimore, maybe my third start. And, I had a terrible game, a 0 quarterback rating. And, Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and Suggs, these guys were all over me and couldn't do anything right. And we were on the train back to New York. And I did go sit with my quarterback coach and just said, hey, I just feel like the plays we're running right now were the plays that Kurt really liked. Those were the plays we were running the first 9 weeks of the season. And I didn't run these plays. As a backup, you get no reps. And these weren't the plays I was running in training camp. And I just got to remember writing down 8 plays. Hey, coach, these are my 8 favorite plays. And if we could just have them in the offensive system, whether the first, second down plays or some third down plays, these are the ones I'm most familiar with, I'm most comfortable with. And I promise I'm going to know where to go with the ball and I can play fast and get completions. And it was right there. He's like, all right, they're in. Like, that's what I need. I need that communication. I need that conversation. But that was kind of the start of it. And then it's really kind of you're maybe halfway through that second year where you really get even more confident, not scared to disappoint him. Asking more questions. Hey, coach, I don't understand this play. Like, explain it again, and just those things. You're always scared that you don't. I don't want the coach to think I don't know something, and just saying yes when you really don't know what you're doing. So I think just getting that confidence and that communication with your coach, with your offensive line coach, with everything you're doing.
You mentioned the Ravens and the great defensive players that they had, Hall of Famers in their own right. Who's the guy that you saw on a regular basis, because you only saw Baltimore once every 4 years, the guy you saw more often than you wanted to, the guy that you were always on the lookout for that just gave you fits in your career?
I mean, DeMarcus Ware, outside linebacker, defensive end for the Dallas Cowboys, Hall of Famer. He has sacked me more than any other player. I was very happy when he left the Cowboys and went to Denver, going into the AFC and also joining my brother and his team. But DeMarcus is a guy on my left side all the time. And just, anytime we weren't, having a back or a tight end on his side to help, chip him, have an eye on him, change his path towards me, you had to be worried. You just know, hey, this is a 5-man protection. You can't hold it for 3 seconds. You got to assume he's going to be back there soon enough. So you were always conscious of, hey, what's our game plan? How are we going to chip him? How are we going to slow him down? And then what are our plays that we're not doing that we got to know we got to get the ball out a little bit faster.
And I get the impression that just kind of hovers over you every time you play him, every time he's on the field. You're processing that. Does it make you go through your reads even faster because you know that this guy is going to be on top of you sooner than other guys would be?
I think early on in the game, definitely. And I think that's, you gotta have a strategy. You can't just say, hey, it's not one of these first play of the game. We're just gonna not block them and not have a game plan for them and do a 7-step drop and hope everything goes okay. That's not a great strategy. And so I think it's about, hey, how are we going to chip him? How are we going to slow him down? How are we going to run at him, hit him, slow, get him where he's not just, in a sprinter stand coming off the edge. And then you understand, hey, you get into the third and fourth quarter, you get a 2-minute drive. You can't worry about those things. But early on, you just don't want him to take over that game, get a strip, sack, fumble, and in the first series of a game because you don't have a plan for him. That's bad game planning.
Eli, what's a realistic expectation for the Giants this year?
Well, I think that's a great thing about the NFL is that you can make those quick changes and you can go from a team that wasn't winning many games to winning games with a few additions. And I think they helped out their defense with Abdul Carter to an already strong pass rushing team. I think Neighbors going into his second year will be better. Some other receivers and the running backs and Tracy. So, then getting Russell, a guy who's a veteran, guy who throws the ball down the field well. He's not scared to make those bold decisions and bold throws down the field. And so I think, that they can be very competitive. Obviously, you're going into a tough division with Washington and Philadelphia, who are both obviously, Super Bowl champs and then the NFC Championship. So, it's not going to be easy with the teams they're playing, but I think they can be very competitive and win a lot of games and have a good shot to make the playoffs.
Well, if things go one way, Giants fans may have a little bourbon to celebrate. If they go the other way, they have a little bourbon for a completely different reason altogether, which brings us to why you're here today. Knob Creek has made you available. You've got something going on with them. Please tell us what it is.
Yeah, we got Knob Creek's bold picks, which is really about making those bold decisions. It's about, believing in your preparation. It's about, being committed to your strategy and trusting your gut. And whether that's, picking your fantasy football team, whether that's making throws down the field or deciding which bourbon to pour. And so that's why it's great to partner with them. Got to go down to the James B. Bean Distillery and Company distillery, hang out with my buddy Freddie Noe and pick a single barrel bourbon at full cask strength. That's, will be my 2026 bold pick. So it'll be coming out just in time for the playoffs in January. But, as everybody prepares for their fantasy football league, it's about making those bold decisions, about trusting what you believe in, what you're seeing, what your preparation tells you to do. don't play it safe, and whether it's you're pouring a bourbon to watch the game or picking which quarterback you're going to start. It's about making those bold decisions.
I saw that you actually hand selected your bold pick of Knob Creek single barrel bourbon. How many did you choose from, and were you blind when you left?
Yeah, we went through about 5 different barrels and tried different ones. And so I had an 8th generation master distiller with me with Freddie No. So I took a lot of guidance from him. But it was a lot of fun going in there, just seeing the history of Knob Creek, of just the attention to detail that they have. And I think a lot of people that it is that bold flavor, that full flavor that they have, and making these bold decisions. But it's calculated decisions. It's trusting what they know, and it's not just doing something because someone else is telling you. It's about believing in the process and in the hard work, and saying, hey, this is what we believe in, this is what we're doing. And I think that lifestyle, that decision-making process is the right way, whether you're picking a bourbon or whether you're making decisions on life, and to make those bold decisions, but calculated bold decisions.
Okay, that leads me to the final question. I appreciate your time today. I know you have other people to talk to, far more important than me. But as it relates to your own bold choices you have made in life, what is the boldest thing you have ever done as it relates to Peyton?
Yeah, probably deciding to go on live TV with them and talk football every Monday night. That's probably the boldest decisions I've ever made. I was like, this could go horribly wrong. I mean, this could be bad. We could not get along. This could ruin. We have a great friendship and relationship and big brother, connection, and yet. All of a sudden you kind of start working together. We've always competed against each other. We've helped each other along the way, but we've never been on the same team before in any way. So it has gone well. It ended up being that, thought it through, have a good kind of work, relationship, but also still have that brotherly love. And we're just not sensitive. That's the most important thing. We're not take shots at each other. We know that's important, but we can't be sensitive about it the next day.
And back to your point from earlier, have you specifically asked the producers that at all times possible your picture be right next to his?
Yes, side by side. I think that's why Peyton really wanted the animated pictures to go up. He could kind of change things around to make things are going. He does a lot of photoshopping on some pictures, but yeah, on camera live, we definitely go side by side. Where I just look amazing next to him.
Hey, Eli, it's great to talk to you. I appreciate some of your time. We wish you all the best for the upcoming season. We'll be watching the Manning cast, and we'll pour out a little of Eli's bold pick 2026 batch from Knob Creek. Thanks again, and all the best to you and Peyton and the rest of the family.
All right, Mike. Thanks so much.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.